Hey everyone, Andy Hayes here, founder and creator of Plum Deluxe. I'd like to welcome you to a special Q&A edition of my weekly update to the community. This month is Customer Appreciation Month, and so I'm here in my idyllic backyard. The weather's been a little weird this year, so I haven't been able to hang out with you here yet, but I'm doing this month's Q&A here because it's a special edition. Because it's Customer Appreciation Month, I thought I would take a few minutes and answer some of the most common questions that I get. Each month when I do the Q&As, we do a themed Q&A. So like last month was iced teas, and and dessert tea month would have been dessert teas. But I try to do a theme because otherwise we get the same questions over and over again, which is no fun to folks who've been around for a while. But I thought I would just take a second and record the most commonly asked questions so that folks who haven't heard answers to those can hear them. And if you might learn something new, that's great too. So I have the top 6 most commonly asked questions. So the first one is, why did you start this company? The answer is simple. I used to live in Europe. I lived in Amsterdam for 10 years, and then I moved to Edinburgh, Scotland for 5 years. And tea culture there is very different. There's 2 different cultures there as well, but very different than here in the States. And I just missed a lot of the teas that I was experiencing there. And I saw an opportunity and went for it. And the rest is history. So what I find very common when I talk to other entrepreneurs in this space is that the tea found them. And that's the case with me as well. Tea found me. So I'm glad it did. Now this next question I get asked quite a lot over the years. So you'll kind of laugh when you hear the question because I've been getting asked it a long time. And it is, your company is growing so fast. It's growing leaps and bounds. Aren't you worried that it's going to get too big and something special will be lost? And the answer is no, I do not worry about that. So when it comes to tea, I've decided to make everything in-house. So we manufacture, blend, package, and ship everything here in Portland. So that means we get to oversee everything that happens. And so it requires a lot of investment. It requires a lot of people and facilities to do that. And so our growth has enabled us to consistently deliver the high quality products that you want and that you deserve. And so our growth has enabled us to do that, especially in times like now where it's very hard to get products. You have to order very far in advance, and it's hard to find the quality that you're expecting. And so actually, this growth has been good. Now that said, I would say there's a difference between perception and reality. I would say the thing that's grown the most is our community. The warmth and the love and support that people have for each other, the conversations, they've grown leaps and bounds faster than the company. And so I could see where there's a perception. I think this question comes from a perception that the community has grown so quickly. And the only thing I would say there that would be a concern is that we don't want anyone to feel left out or underappreciated. And so my reminder is for folks is that the Plum Deluxe community is yours to participate in the amount that you like, in the way that you like. And so I hope no one ever feels left out or underappreciated because of how many people are in the community and how many options there are. So I would encourage people that do feel that way to find the things that are most appealing to them. So no concerns. Our growth is just fine. Nothing to worry about. The next question is, what is your favorite tea? Now, I had to move my camera angle so I don't have the table close enough now, but I was just drinking a cup of the toasted nut brulee oolong with some nut pods toasted marshmallow creamer, which is a fantastic treat for me. One of the things I adore. I wouldn't say it's my favorite tea, but I definitely like that combination. But I would ask any parent in the room, who's your favorite child? It's not a very fair question. If you ask a parent that, it almost seems rude, right? So it's not a question I usually will answer for people because there's so many different moods for tea. Tea curled up on the sofa, watching a movie, tea when you're not feeling well, Tea in not feeling well physically, not feeling well emotionally. Those are even two different things. Tea when you just got to your desk and you're looking to get things moving. Tea when you're sitting down with a friend for a good conversation. Those are all just totally different things, and I would say I have favorites for every one of those moods. The only thing I will say on the Q&A today is that the reading note tea was our first tea, and so I think for the whole staff, the whole company, that tea is special in a very meaningful and thoughtful way. It's the thing that got us started, and so that's a special tea. Not necessarily a favorite, but special. Okay, so those are some more things about myself and the company. These last four or five are very tactical in nature, but I do want to tackle them just to help people more enjoy their beverage. So people ask me a lot, how do I get more flavor out of the tea? And it's all about in the preparation. And so some of the things I see most commonly are using not boiling water. So a Keurig or microwave is a no-go. It needs to be boiling water for black teas or herbal teas, and then the under boiling, the 175 to 180 for the greens and whites. So the water temperature matters greatly. We'll talk about cold brew here in a second for iced tea, but for hot tea, water temperature is very important. Secondly is the ratio that you're using. More tea doesn't necessarily always translate, but experimenting with the amount of tea versus the amount of water. You also want to make sure that your infuser has enough space for the tea to expand. If it doesn't, then the tea in the middle part of the infuser isn't really going to infuse quite well. So I find that if someone's using like one of the small tea balls, and they're doing like a large mug, that's not a large enough vessel for the infuser part. So maybe something like our Victorian infuser is usually pretty foolproof for most sizes. Just making sure that the tea has lots of room, and that will really ensure a more flavorful cup. I think those are some of the most common things that I see people experiment with. Also, making sure that it's not just you tried it once and it didn't work. Maybe just taking a second to think about what could you try next time. Try different, try better. I get asked a lot about should I put X, Y, or Z, honey, milk, creamer, sugar in this tea, A, B, C. And I really want to encourage people to try things and decide what is important for you, because there's no shoulds in tea. So Darjeeling tea shouldn't have this, or Assam tea should have this, or herbal tea shouldn't have that. There's no shoulds. It's what you like and what you enjoy. So I would really encourage you to explore that on your own and decide for you what is true, because there's just no rules. What I like might be totally different than what other people like, and it's just all personal. Even people who I know people who like milk and hibiscus tea, even though it curdles a little bit. Like that's what they like, and we can't deny them that. So I really encourage you to not think about the shoulds and think about trying what sounds good and seeing what you like. That's my thoughts about that one. I said I would cover iced teas, especially since we're kind of in that time of year, and we always get questions about iced teas. The two main questions I get, so it's kind of a two-parter for this one. One is which teas are the iced teas, and then how to cold brew. So which teas are the iced teas? There aren't, is the short answer. We have on the site a designation that says teas that are great iced, and we just find that we like those teas iced. They are great iced. That's exactly what it means, what it says. But it doesn't mean that you can't have them hot. And it also doesn't mean that a tea that was not tagged that can't be made iced tea. It just means that some of our favorites or preferred or easy wins, maybe is another word for it. But you can have any tea you want, hot or cold, and decide what you like. Again, there's no shoulds, but it's what you enjoy. And then for the cold brew part, it's very easy. 1.5 teaspoons of tea, 8 ounces of cold water, in the fridge overnight, strain it and enjoy. You can experiment with changing the more water and more tea, or less tea, less water. And it needs at least 8 hours. I say overnight because then it's just pretty easy. You don't have to have a special vessel. You just want a lid so that your tea doesn't start to tastes like your leftovers. And yeah, that's it. It's pretty straightforward. And you can reuse the tea. Tea lasts in the fridge just a few days, otherwise you might get some mold. So don't make too much ahead of time. Yeah, and that's it. Cold brew. And cold brew is, we recommend it because it's kind of foolproof. It's also fantastic for the white and green teas. Just because they're so sensitive, they do really well in the cold brew method. All right, and then the last question I have here to wrap up is why don't you offer tea bags? Well, the main reason originally we don't have tea bags is because the equipment is very expensive, tens and tens of thousands of dollars, and it takes up a lot of floor space. It's quite large equipment, and we just haven't had those kind of resources for that. But the thing about the loose tea is I've never understood why people will consume a beverage where they can't see it. It's kind of enclosed in this paper cotton thing, and you can't see it. I just find that strange to me. And so with the loose tea, you can see it. You can see what's in it. So you can feel good about the quality of it. You can smell it. It's opportunity to engage with the tea and experience it. And then watching it unfurl and steep and change in the water, I think is just magical. And I want people to have that intimate relationship with the tea that you're drinking because you're putting it in your body. So it's really important for you to kind of feel good about that and know what's happening there. And so that's why I think I don't want to deny anybody the opportunity to have that loose leaf tea experience. And we're doing everything we can to help educate and show people that it doesn't have to be hard. I feel like that's kind of the perception, is that loose tea is hard, and it doesn't have to be. There's filter bags to make easy, quick bags for the on the go. There's lots of storage solutions that make it easy. Infusers and teapots and things are cute and fun and easy. The clean, we have all these devices like the Perfect Tea Maker that make cleanup easy. And so I think it's easy. It's easy to say that, yeah, tea bag, it's one and done, and why all the fuss? But I don't know why. Then why shouldn't we just buy only baked cakes from the store and never make something on our own? Or why should we go out to a restaurant when we can just find something in a box on a shelf? Like, they're just not quite the same thing. And so back to coming full circle, my original question that I answered was why I started the company, and it was those intimate and delightful experiences with those teas that I really missed. And so that is what I'm sharing with people, not just these flavors, but the enjoyment and the intimate experience that you can have with them. And so that is an extension of why I joined the company, and it takes us all the way down into tactical things like why we don't offer tea bags, but it is something we are hoping to have in the future and are excited about. So that is the answer to that Q&A. I hope you've enjoyed hanging out with me with the geraniums and the roses here in my backyard. I'm going to go back to my toasted nut brulee and finish that, and looking forward to a busy afternoon. If you haven't signed up, I hope you're going to join us for PlumCon later this month. plumdeluxe.com/PlumCon, our virtual tea convention. I'll be doing a mindfulness workshop as well as a tea blending class. So if you haven't joined, you need to get in there ASAP so we can get you your materials for the classes. It's all going to be online and it'll be recorded. So if you can't make it or have to work, no problem. But anyway, anything we can do for you, don't hesitate to let us know. Happy Customer Appreciation Month. I appreciate you. Our staff appreciates you more than you could ever know. And thank you for being part of our community and one of our customers. Take care, guys.